So good afternoon from me too. I'm delighted to be here today, and it is with great pleasure that I'm going to present to you our magic book, a book that we've created with care for learners and love for children. Before I start introducing you to the book, I thought it would be a good idea to introduce you into and invite you into one of our classrooms. And you are going to see an excerpt, a video excerpt, from one lesson that is in the pre-unit. It's a random lesson, and the classroom is not rehearsed. It is an authentic lesson, the one that you're going to watch. That will give you some ideas, some practical ideas of how we handle the book in the classroom. And then we can talk more about the actual contents of the book. Okay.
Who's this? Monkey, right? Uh-oh. Hello?
Here.
Hello. Shh. It kisses you. Okay. So it's a, what is it? Monkey. Very good. It's a monkey. Okay. Jamie? Monkey. Right. Now, do the thing. Shh. Now, is it a monkey? No. Is it a lion? no. This one. There we go. Okay, can you see? You can see? Yes. No. Okay. Now, what's this, Natalie? Hold on. What's this? Is it a zebra, everybody? Yeah! Okay, very good. It's a zebra. He's jumping on the bed. One fell off and father said, "Mother called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping."
Okay, so that was a short excerpt. I will show you another video later on of the actual units, so you know how to start. This was just a sample because I know that most of you are doing the pre-unit chapter right now. Are you actually teaching third grade? Can you raise your hands, those of you who are teaching third grade? Okay, it's going to be useful, hopefully. Okay, I have this here. The first thing I'd like to say is that this book is in its pilot stage, and this is a good thing, because normally we are given books and we have to use them in public schools for like a decade without being able to change or do something about it. Now this is a very good chance. You can all contribute to changing this book and write it if that is what it takes, even from the beginning. So we are going to ask you later on to evaluate the book and tell us what went wrong, what you thought worked, what the children like, because this is important as well, okay? And then we're going to take all this feedback, collect everything, and then sit down and redo the whole thing if we need to, okay? So your feedback is going to be essential here. You have seen that this is a black and white version. One of the reasons is that it is not actual the final product. The final product will be colorful. But this is a good chance for the children who are still developing their motor skills to color it and make it a lot more vivid. Thank you. Now, maybe one of the most important things that I'd like to clarify here is that this book is a product of a team project. It's not one person who developed it, and it's a group of people. And before I start, I would like, first of all and foremost, to thank the person who made everything possible here, who is Professor Vendrinos, who trusted me personally, and I personally thank you for this, and my team to develop this material. And through PEAP, this was possible to happen. This is a team project, as I said, and they worked under time pressure and in the middle of the summer. They're teacher practitioners like you, and my colleague Marina Matheodakis as well, and musicians. You know, everybody contributed really. I'm not going to finish telling you about this because it's a long story, but a lot of people contributed for the songs, for everything. Yes, they're in the first page, so it's easy to see. The book is developed for children who have or have not yet received any English instruction, and this happens for two reasons. One is that not everybody lives in Thessaloniki or Athens, okay? And not everybody has attended pilot schools when they start from the first and second grade. And if you think about the financial crisis, not many people are going to be able to attend all the private schools nowadays. And I think this is a good opportunity to start from the start, okay? Like they haven't been introduced to English before. Also, this is a book that addresses to people who live in cities or isolated villages as well. And this means they may have or they may not have internet in their schools, okay? We have to be practical here. That's why in the teacher's book you will find a lot of ideas of how to use technology yourselves and, you know, contribute more in your class, add more materials if you need to. But the actual book does not require the use of technology. There's only one project at the very end that requires the use of a site, of a particular site. The contents now. The first chapter, which those of you who are teaching third grade, you must be here, and I hope you haven't finished, is the pre-unit. And it involves the magic letters, or the letters of the alphabet, which are divided into 6 thematic areas. And they can cover 6 up to 12 teaching sessions. This, of course, depends on the level your learners are. Some of your learners may have had contact, and of course we accept this, so you can move faster. Others who haven't will take more time. But because this has to do with recognition of letters, and this is a vital pre-reading skill, please take your time, okay? And these thematic areas, of course, are very close to their world, because we have to be close to their interest, and involve colors, animals, food, clothes, toys. You have seen them. Now, we have 8 units. Each unit, as you have probably seen, has 3 lessons. We expect that each lesson will take up to 3 teaching hours. You can see it now. I'm not sure what's wrong, but I will be telling you. Is everything okay? Okay, I was talking about the duration of each lesson, and I said it should take about 3 teaching sessions, but you can be flexible here depending on your context again. You may need 4 hours, you may need 2 hours. Okay, so it's a flexible idea, but we have estimated the time so that it will cover the whole academic and school year. And of course we have a section on special days, Christmas, Halloween, we have also children's rights, Earth Day, and Easter and summer holidays. Now there are some special features in this book, and probably you have noticed. The first one, and teachers are asking us about this, is the alphabet, the magic letters. As you have seen, alphabet is taught thematically and not sequentially. So we don't start A, B, C, we start with thematic context. So there are reasons for this, of course. We didn't just decide to do it. One of which is that it doesn't really, it's not useful for children to start with the order, but it is easier for them to remember sounds, words, and letters by making associations, okay? So if they make thematic associations, and we say the word, let's say, animals, they will probably come up with lion, zebra, and monkey. It's easier for them to recall and store them in memory. Another thing is that we try to have alternative assessment. This is very fashionable nowadays. So we have what we would say baby steps in alternative assessment as well. I will show you a sample as soon as we fix this. And special days work as a separate part of the book. You will find them right at the back of the book. And you can be flexible here and adapt according to the dates you have and how much time you've got. Now, from the video that you've already seen, you probably noticed that we emphasize reading and pre-reading, and pre-writing skills. The words are in thematic groups, as I said before, for easy retention and recall, and also because we find that there is an order in the way we acquire L1, and there should be an order the way we acquire L2. This order is, first we see something, we're able to trace it, as they do with the tracing, then we recognize it, then we recognize the letter in a word, then we recognize the word, and then we produce language. Okay, so there is a gradual transition from one stage to the other, and this also happens in L1. Give them time. This is quite important. Give them time to assimilate and absorb new knowledge, and they will be able to utter words and sentences. You may also have seen that we only have in each lesson 3 letters, 3 sounds, the corresponding sounds, I mean, and the words, 3 words starting with these letters for each lesson. Again, this is done on purpose because we don't want to overwhelm the learners, and we really want to give them a chance to absorb new information. Emphasis, you have seen this, is on familiarization. Even from the video, you have seen that we are mostly concerned about familiarizing learners with the new words rather than making them memorize. We don't want children to memorize anything that is not meaningful to them or that is not part of their world at that time. And if you see here with the sample, in the sample pre-unit, there is a same format we use for the children so that they feel safe in the pre-unit. So they start with a presentation, of course, by this is your part. And then they color the picture, in which picture they can find the word. This is a first, let's say, subconscious exposure to the word. Then they do the tracing of the letters and they color the letter. Please ask them to color as much as possible. Then they match the letters, the capital letters, with the small case letter. And this, again, is the same throughout the units, the pre-units. And then we have 3 up to 4 playful activities so that children have the time to learn the words as well. And some pre-writing skills are emphasized here as well. Alternative assessment. As we said, this is baby steps of alternative assessment, but I will show you the sample immediately and tell you that what we are doing here is first we have a project, and you will find in the teacher's book some guidelines. You can adapt them. You can, again, change them according to your learner's needs. I don't need to mention how important projects are and how much they help consolidation and, of the thematic unit you are going to have every time, and also how much it personalizes from the part of the children what they learn. So this is quite important. They feel proud. And then they have a self-assessment, how many stars for the story, songs and rhymes and games. This is good for us as well, as material developers, but also for you, because you know what exactly style is the learner you have in front of you. And also for this unit, color, and then this is a self-assessment, the first self-assessment step. We do know that their self-perception of what they can do or they can't do can be quite blurred because they tend to overestimate what they can do. But this is fine. This is a first step to introduce them into the concept of self-checking, in a way, and self-assessing, and it will give us an indication of what the children feel. This is quite important feedback for us. Now, the rationale behind this book. We try to develop a book that is pedagogically oriented, and that's why you have morals in the story, or we try to have morals in the stories. As you move on with the units, you will understand. We try to sensitize children into certain issues like poverty, like environment, and you will see other things as well. It's child-centered, and because we find that the learner is vital, but the child is even more essential. And for this reason, we do not really pre-teach vocabulary. You may have seen that in most books, you have a series of 5, 6 words. You pre-teach them, you spoil the element of surprise, and then you move on with the story. We work the other way around. We start with the story. The teacher's role is less dominant that way. And then the children, after listening again and again to a story, they always like to listen to stories again and again, then they induce the meaning or some lexical chunks from the actual plot of the story. And we've tried to help them do that by using familiar characters. I will show you in a second. It's also so we are following an inductive learning approach rather than a deductive one. It's process-based. It's process-based because at this stage, when they're 3rd grade, exams is definitely not our goal. They will take exams, we know that. And by the end, there are, as we just said, they will have the prerequisites to take exams, and they will be fully prepared. But this is, again, a time where children should enjoy what they do, and we should instill motivation to the children. And that's why we are more interested in how they learn rather than how much they learn. What counts is not always countable. Okay? So also it's meaning focused because we're more interested in meaningful teaching in general and learning. And this is the reason we do not explicitly teach grammar. I'll come back to this point because I know you have questions. And also it's a story-based framework, and we'll see why again. We try to include elements of discovery learning, and that's why we have a lot of problem-solving activities. And multisensory approach. You have seen our teacher, Risa, before that. In the video, she blindfolded the learner because children do internalize new knowledge through their senses at this stage as well, and the earlier stage as well. They need to touch, they need to taste, they need to feel, they need to hear, they need to listen in order to learn. Okay, and this is how they remember. We tried to include as many features of multiple intelligences as we could. There are only certain things you can do in a book, but we do have more advice and more suggestions in the teacher's book. We acknowledge the value of individual learning differences. Different is always nice, I think. And we respect the pace of learning, and that's why we ask you to be flexible the way you are handling the time with the book. Now, although this is called a magic book, there's no magic method. We know that not one method is never enough, so we have to combine elements from different methodologies. So we follow an eclectic approach. We have features of lexical approach. I'll go to that later. Elements of total physical response. They need to move, you know that. They need to dance around. They need to be able to stand up. We have a lot of task-based activities, especially as the book goes further and further, because and when we say task-based, we don't mean a vocabulary task or a grammar task. These are not tasks. Tasks are things that are meaningful and communicative for the learners. You will find them especially after Unit 3. And we also have content-based elements because we took things from other subjects from the Greek curriculum. And I will show you examples as well. Now, learning through stories. Each story, as you will see in the unit, has a different plot and tries to include an element of surprise. Sometimes we manage to surprise you, sometimes we don't. The stories are usually based on well-known characters or well-known heroes, like Pinocchio in Unit 3, or Aesop. We include Aesop's fables. They are familiar with those from the 3rd grade. If they're not, they should be, I should say. And 4 main characters are also used throughout the book. This is Lena, Alex, Yuri, and Tammy. And these people are not actually the heroes of the book, but they introduce each story to the children. They continue to be stable, but not active throughout the book. Now, you will probably say, yes, why stories? Stories because these are the most powerful techniques to teach anything really to children. They are familiar with storytelling. It can be nicely combined with arts, crafts, and different games. And stories allow children to focus on meaning rather than on structure. Why lexical approach? Because the acquisition of lexical chunks is fast, easy, fluent. And so we make the life of our learners easier, and the life of us, our job easier. It's much easier to say you're back home and store this in memory as one unit rather than store it as you are back home. Okay. Also, all chunks are contextualized and they should not be explicitly taught. And at this point, I would like to say, please do not translate word by word. You're spoiling the whole procedure. You may have seen in the video before, one child said when we had the zebra, she said, a big bad zebra. Did you hear that? Yeah. This is a lexical chunk. Because last year they had exposure to the fairy tale, the Little Red Riding Hood. They were able to form big bad. This was big bad? Wolf. Yes, but the child here at 3rd grade was able to decompose the word wolf and said zebra. This is success in learning. Okay. And chunks are practiced through activities. Do not drill all the time. We never say in everyday speech, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? We don't reply, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, let alone the fact we're not always fine. But anyway, material. I'm finishing. There's a variety of stories with a moral. We have a lot of songs and chants. We also have playful activities. You can see that the structure in the book is homogeneous, but we have different activities. We try to vary it so as not to bore the children and bore you as well. We also have a philosophy concerning skills development. We focus on receptive and not on productive skills, because first we listen, then we speak, then we read, finally we write. And this is how it should be. Oracy skills are prioritized, and there's gradual instruction to listening. Because we always complain there's no transition from one grade to the other, we tried to include several elements as well. So we took the books from the 3rd grade in Greek. We used Eugenios Trivizas, for example. We have Dona Teridona. We have several themes and topics that are the same. And also, we have cross-curricular elements, and also, we have taken things from the 4th grade, same topics and themes, so that they will be then able to be acquainted with this. We also include global issues and sensitize students to them, as we said before. And we tried to involve culture and language, because language is all about communication and culture. Now, do we have time for the next video? It's only 5 minutes.
These here are the 4 heroes in the book, okay? Magic book. The 4 heroes of the book. Huh? Who are the 4 heroes of the book? Lena. Yeah, that's Lena. Eh? You see Lena? She has glasses. Okay? This is Tommy. Tommy is a boy or a girl? No. Boy. Tommy. Look. No, girl. Okay, very nice. And who is this? Alex. Yes, this is Alex. He has a skateboard. Skateboard, okay? And this is Yuri. Okay? Alright, let's remember the names once again. Who is this? Very good. Jimmy. Who is this? Alex. Okay, Jimmy? Alex. Very nice, Jimmy. Skateboard. Yeah, he has a skateboard. Very nice. And who is this? Yuri. Everybody? Yeah, the one with the skateboard. And can you see Tommy? Huh? Look, Tommy has a ponytail. Huh? Can you see Tommy? Yeah, it's the girl here. And what are they doing? They are reading a book. Yes, they are reading a book. Do you want to listen to the story now? Let's listen to the story now. Ready?
Yeah. A book with fairy tales.
Look, Alex, it's a magic book.
Hello. Welcome to the fairy tale forest. I'm Peter Pan, and this is Alice.
This is our school, and this is our classroom. The classroom in the forest. Look, Peter, our desk. And our board. Wow, a board. Super.
Hello, children. I'm Miss Butterfly, your teacher.
Hello, Miss Butterfly. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so, alright. Can you tell me who this is?
Peter
Peter Pan, eh? Can you see Peter Pan in our book? Yes, yeah, this is Peter Pan, only with different clothes. Okay, this is Peter Pan. Can you see Peter Pan? What does Peter Pan say? He says, hello. He says, hello, welcome to the fairy tale forest. This is Peter Pan. And Nick here in the book. No. Who is the teacher? Who is the teacher? Say it. Miss Butterfly. Miss Butterfly is the teacher. Do you want to listen to the story again? Yes? Let's listen one more time. Let's listen one more time.
Hello. Welcome to the fairy tale forest. I'm Peter Pan, and
Alright. So, what does Peter say?
hello.
Hello. Welcome to the fairy tale forest. This is a fairy tale forest. Okay? What's this again?
Forest.
What is it, Sophia? Forest. Yes, it's a fairy tale forest. I'm Peter Pan, and this is Alice. Let's listen again.
This is Alice. This is our school, and this is our classroom.
This is our school, and this is our classroom. What's this? Our classroom. Yeah, very nice. This is. Look, Alex. It's a magic book. Okay, a magic book, and there comes Peter Pan. Hello. 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 Welcome to the fairy tale forest. Huh? Can we say that? Welcome to the fairy tale forest. I'm Peter Pan.
I'm Peter Pan.
And this is
Alice.
And this is Alice. This is our school.
This is
Our school. And this is our classroom. And this is our classroom. A classroom in the classroom in the forest. Butterfly. Huh? What does she say? What does she say?
Hello, children.
Hello, children. Hello. It's a magic book.
Hello, welcome to the
Fairy tale?
fairy tale forest.
Yes.
I'm Peter Pan.
I'm Peter Pan.
And this
And this is.
is
And this is. Yes, who is this? And this is.
Alice.
Very nice. Look,
Look, Peter. Our best.
desk. Whose desk? Now, desk. Our desk. Okay.
And that board.
Show me the board. Show me the board.
And that board.
And the board. Very nice. Wow. Super. A board. Yeah. Bravo. Super. A desk. Show me a desk, please. A desk. Yes, that's it. That's a desk. Classroom. The classroom? Aspasia? The classroom? What is the classroom? Yeah, that's the classroom. And the school? Where is the school?
Wow.
Come outside. Huh? That's the school. Yeah, the school. Okay? All right?
As a final note, I would like to say that whatever we do, however we teach, we should embrace the different, and we should never be indifferent to learners' needs, but most importantly, we should never be indifferent to children's feelings. Thank you very much.